Was working at a hospital in Fraser Health this particular day, and there was a gentleman who came in to emerge who had a broken limb, and he refused a PCR test. So the whole hospital went frantic, and like the manager kept going from unit to unit, telling everybody, you need to test all your patients, you need to, all of you get tested, because we might have a outbreak because a patient in Emerge decided that they weren't going to get a PCR test. But he explained, to the nurses down there and to the doctor that he had a broken limb, not a flu. So why would he need a PCR test? So in the meantime, I had a patient that was coming up from Emerge that I had to admit into the unit that I was on. So being told that I needed to give her a PCR test, and she was non-responsive. She was dying of pancreatic cancer and completely comatose. I don't know if she could hear me. She's not opening her eyes. She doesn't respond to any kind of stimulus. And here they're expecting me to go and put a swab up this person's nose and test her. And I have no way of asking her, is it okay if I test you? Can I test you? So, and also just morally and ethically, it just didn't feel like the right thing to do under any circumstances. So when I felt that pressure of everybody looking at me, because I was kind of putting up a respectful stink about it, but kind of advocating for her, saying, I don't think that it's necessarily right. She's dying of pancreatic cancer. She's not dying of COVID, and I don't see the point in, she's going to be dead in a few hours. Like, why are we doing this? And when I felt the burning stare of everybody looking at me, I don't know if it was the Lord speaking to me or just my conscience just kicked in, but I thought, I got to do this. Because if somebody else does this, it's going to happen a little differently than what I'm going to do. So I went into the supply room, grabbed everything I needed, went into the patient's room, closed the curtains, and got the swab out as I'm talking to the patient gently, loud enough that everyone in the nursing station could hear, and explaining to the patient, hey, I'm going to do a PCR test, and I'm really sorry, and I'm going to be gentle, I promise, and thank you for, whatever, I don't know what I said exactly, but I tried to talk myself through it. Open the swab up, open the lid to the container, put the swab into the container, did not swab the patient, and went back out and labeled it and washed my hands and all that other stuff. And a few hours later, her test came back positive, even though it never touched her or anybody else in the room. And then a few hours after that, she passed away. But on her death certificate, she didn't pass away from pancreatic cancer. She passed away from COVID. So a very interesting, eye-opening moment in my career. Basically testing what I already knew to be true, but seeing it with my own eyes. So
a complete positive, and it
never touched her. This is when we were on full lockdown and everybody has COVID. If you have a respiratory problem, you got COVID. Like, it didn't matter who you were, what you did, you got COVID. And if you refused a PCR test, you got COVID too.
What a complete joke.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm preaching to the choir here. Tell the rest of the world, what is really going on. So, yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
Thank you for doing that. Thank you.
All right.
So proud of you.
Thank you.
So proud. Thank you. There we go.
All right.
That is great. Okay.